Everyone, it's Alexis Cardoza.
What's up, everybody? It's the Wild Rhino Clark Connors from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I am here getting wild, drinking an 805.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Rip F and Bison. I ran out of booze.
Join us because we're drinking at Moe's. I am the fire starter, the Carney Killer. I am born to die, Jake Christ.
This is Bobby Olson. We're drinking at Moe's. You better hit like and subscribe.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started, that I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' at Moe's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinkin' at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go.
All right, everybody. Drinkin' at Moe's, my 2 cents. You know the drill, YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because the YouTube algorithm is a pain in the fucking ass. Yes, I added that in there this time. You know what to do with the like button. You are going to do the big swing on it like Claudio Castagnoli until that damn like button can't take it anymore.
I can do a double leg. It's Claudio. 3, 4, 5.
So this one's going to be some random questions that we're going to ask each other. Two different wrestling-related questions, random questions, and we're each going to give our opinions on that. And this will be kind of along the same lines of what can happen if you guys give us an idea of things you want us to talk about. It'll go along the same lines. All right. So you're gonna start it off. Your question first.
Me. All right, fine. So, what got you into this wonderful sport?
What got me into professional wrestling? All right. So I think I've actually kind of told this story on some of the interviews that I've had, where the thing that drew me in when I was a little kid, I know that was a long fucking time ago, but I was watching, and then I'd see the crowds reacting to, I wanted to say it was Hogan or Warrior, or somebody, and the crowds were just going nuts. And I just thought, this is the coolest thing ever. And I think at one point, why my parents got me tickets to the first ever WWE show I went to, I think they were kind of thinking, oh, he sees it live, he'll grow out of it. Nope. But yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of that. What got you in?
Okay. So, I'm a little older than you. Oh, excuse me. I like my Mountain Dew, but it makes me burp.
No, you taken my Dr. Pepper joke, you motherfucker.
So anyway, back in the mid '80s, I'm originally from Missouri. most of my family lived in Missouri. We're all central in one particular area. At least once a month, we would all get together at my grandmother's house and just kind of have like a big family dinner, which made, Christmases were boring because I just saw you 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But so I'm there and I can't remember what I was watching. And then here comes my aunt and uncle and my cousin, who's a couple years younger than me. And I actually get up to go do something. And by the time I come back around, he's changed the channel. Mind you, it is Saturday in the Midwest, so it's like 5:15. I think some of you may be knowing where that's going. My cousin changed the channel to
WCW Saturday.
WC. Well, it was the NWA WCW.
Oh, yeah.
That was what it was back then. The studio show.
Yeah.
Standing room only, packed crowd of about 20 to 30.
Yeah.
So,
I'll remember that.
One of those where, if it was in a big arena, the baby face would go around the ring, giving high fives. There's not enough room.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I sat down. I'm like, what are you watching? He goes, wrestling. Sit down. So I said, okay, let's give this a look. See? Okay. And it was at a commercial. Well, here's the very first match that I watched on that show was a Sting squash match. You might not remember this, but when Sting was first coming into JCP, which was Jim Crockett Promotions for all you young kids out there, when he was first coming in,
Get out my eye.
when he was first coming in, they had to build him up because he was coming from
Okay, what happened? The damn thumbs up button again. I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Let's give me a thumbs up. So, God, where was so Sting was coming from the UWF. No,
I can give you a different figure.
yeah, I know you can. He was coming from Bill Watts area, which I think is UWF. It might have been
Some, yeah.
could be Mid States, Mid South, whatever the fuck they called it. But he was paired with the Ultimate Warrior, and they were
Out of the Blade Runner.
they were stiff. They were terrible. So they had to bring when they brought in Sting to JCP. They had to build him as a baby face. Had to get him out on his own, get some more matches. So basically, what they would do, throw him in at house shows to squash matches. Basically, they would play his music. He'd run to the ring like the Ultimate Warrior, come into the ring, kick maybe clothesline the dude, kick the dude. The guy would fall into the corner, and then, I'll be damned, Stinger splash, 1, 2, 3. That's done. He takes off. It goes back. It's like, well, that was Sting. We're going to see him shortly. Shortly became like 2, 3 months after that. Well, that was my first actual match I've ever watched.
Kind of like Veer's coming. Like
No, this
someday.
no,
in the
no.
near
See,
future.
back then they didn't actually build somebody up and then just drop the gimmick. When they built
Well,
somebody
they were
up,
building him up for like I don't know how
they
goddamn
built
long.
they built him up, and then they did kind of like Emelina.
Oh yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? For a second there, I was like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?"
It wasn't like that. I mean, they showed matches like that for a while. Then he actually showed up at the studio show. That's back when they would have the match, and then the good guys that won would go to the podium and they'd cut a promo. Stuff like that. That's how and it was just watching that and actually, I watched the entire show and I was kind of enthralled. You had Dusty Rhodes, you had the Road Warriors, Barry Windham before he became a horseman. Then you had the Horsemen. Who else? The Russians. And all these guys, the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express. And it was just one of those where it's like, this is cool. I think I'm going to start watching this.
I got you.
And then here we are, God, too long since.
All right, now my first actual question. for everybody talks about like their Mount Rushmores of this or that. You're Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling.
No, Rushmore professional wrestling. Are we just doing 4?
Yeah, because that's how much is on there, right?
I actually heard someone the other day put like 8 people up there.
How big do they think Mount Rushmore is?
I don't know.
It ain't no fucking
Maybe
Mount
they're,
Everest.
maybe they're mixing Mount Rushmore up with the Mount Rushmore that they put on Richie Rich, the movie.
Nah.
For those of you that seen that. My Mount Rushmore would be Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, and Triple H.
All right.
On the backside to that, there'd be some guys. Now, those are the ones. They're the Mount Rushmore. There's the ones that everyone looks up to, simply because. And I'll just say this right now: L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
He has been accused of. I don't want to say Kevin Nash has accused L.A. Knight of stealing promos, if that sounds right.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he's stealing promos.
I can see the similarities.
There's similarities, but that's kind of like, okay, I give it more of inspiration.
I can see
It's the inspiration. Yes, when LA Knight talks, and I didn't do it yet. Yeah. When LA Knight talks, he's kind of got that almost not the verbiage, but there's the sound, the reverberation of his voice that kind of reminds me. It's kind of that deep kind of like a rock.
that now goes.
He kind of has that rock sound to him. Because you know how the Rock, when he first started doing promos, he was very white meat baby face. But then when he became the Rock, he became one of the biggest heels at the time. And his voice wasn't white meat baby face; it was more how we all recognize that voice. L.A. Knight is the same way when he cuts his promos. He's got that kind of verbiage to his voice. So, L.A. Knight, that he'd be on the sub. You got the Mount Rushmore, then you got the sub Rushmore. Sub Rushmore.
Making up words.
We're making up words. You know why we're making up words? This is my 2 cents. I can do whatever the fuck I please.
It's my fucking show.
I'm just telling
It's all good.
But yeah, the sub Rushmore, LA Knight's on there.
All right.
Simply because of his promos. Now, in ring work, he does need some help. Granted, he's been doing this for 20 years, but unfortunately, he was with people that didn't really care. Impact, they didn't know what to do with him, but he was in the right place, right time. He became the Impact champion. After that, I don't know. They didn't have a development for him. NWA signed him because, they were coming back and they needed bodies.
Yeah.
And then he got to a point where he was drunk and decided to name his coat Shoes. If you remember that promo.
I don't.
You don't remember that? He got drunk and he goes, "Look at these shoes. Shoes of a champion. Look at this coat. Shoes of a champion." Did I just call my coat shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, my one. Stone Cold definitely on there. I'm trying to think here. Dusty Rhodes. Bruiser Brody. I like him. Man, you see him coming out of the ring, you're almost scaring the shit out of everybody.
I read something about Bruiser Brody.
Swinging the chain around and shit. Reminds me right now of freaking Lance Archer.
Without a chain?
Without the chain, yeah, but kind of the way, like you see him like in New Japan and stuff. right? The way his entrance comes out, very much similar. And that's only three. God damn.
One more.
One more. Terry Funk.
I'll take it.
Because I mean, he there's a reason why they had that. They joked about retiring in professional wrestling and not really being retired
No,
because of him.
That's Terry Funk.
But I mean, it would be hard to find somebody that was as widely respected as him. But yeah, that would be mine. All right, now your second one. I know you're looking up stuff for the damn show, right?
Yep.
But all right, yeah.
I'm driving around going, where the fuck are we?
All right. Second question.
Okay. My second question to you, sir, is this. What was your first wrestling show?
My first ever one?
Big league or indie?
You know what? I didn't even have an independent show that I went to until I was stationed in San Diego.
Really?
Not one. My first ever wrestling show was actually a Christmas present when I was in like the third grade. And it was at the now, it's not even there anymore, Pershing Center in Lincoln. We had floor seats. It was right, like, few rows from the ring, a few from the entrance.
Right.
And I remember one of them, there's a handful of matches I remember. This was right around the time that Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty were feuding over the Intercontinental title. They had a match that night. There was the Head Shrinkers versus High Energy, which was Owen Hart and Coco Beware.
Yes, I remember them.
And there was Yokozuna versus Big Boss Man.
Was that a squash? Probably was.
Not really, but I mean, yeah, Yokozuna won. But yeah. My first piece of WWE merch was a foam nightstick.
The Big Boss Man foam nightstick.
Yep. What was the first wrestling show you went to?
Oh. Are we talking indie or are we talking?
Whichever one. Whichever one was first.
Good Lord. Oh, man, I got to remember back. Okay, so the first indie show that I ever went to was actually up in Hartington, Nebraska.
Oh, that one we kind of talked about.
The one we kind of talked about. It was an offshoot for the OWA. It was their OWA Heat Wave. Don't ask me what the year was because I don't. It was in early 2000s. It was after I came back from Iraq and I was there 2005. So you're looking at 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. That was my first indie show. I had front row tickets to that, and that was my first indie show. And it was pretty cool. We all know what OWA turned into. Yeah, we do.
What? You might have to jog my damn memory. I talk to so many people through so much wrestling stuff. There's some stuff that slips my damn mind.
Turned into Magnum. Well, became Magnum after this, that, and the other thing. The first, if we want to call it indie, we would call it professional. I mean, it's all professional wrestling. My first professional, you call it that,
like
show,
the national TV
like
stuff?
the national TV stuff. I went to a WCW house show in the old Exarban Arena.
You know, I never ended up going to a WCW show.
That was during that was back when Sandman was being neutered by Eric Bischoff.
Oh, back when he was Hack.
Back when he was Hack. Coming out with barbed wire that was rubber tipped.
Wrapped around him.
Wrapped around him with
Man, I remember watching that and I'm like, what the hell is
tipped in rubber. You know, Ric Flair had Little Nate with him.
but
But it was
Charles Robinson, the referee.
Yep, but it was in Omaha. The main event was Sting versus Ric Flair.
Of course, it's WCW. Why would it
Well, plus on top of that, you know, it's Sting. You know, he was born in Omaha. His grandparents lived in Omaha. I think he had some family that was there front row. I think. So that was my. I should probably get this link.
Probably, if that's the way we
So
got
that
a
was-
fucking turn.
Those were my shows. It was actually a good show too.
All right. Your second one. What was
That was my
that
second.
was your second one. Fuck I'm old, my damn memory. You know what? The first thing goes, you know, your memory and then your memory.
It's
All right. So second one. All right. If you had to choose between the two national TV shows happening in the same day, and obviously you can only choose one, you going to AEW or WWE?
TV shows.
TV.
Okay. I'm going to ask this question. What are the storylines?
I don't know whatever the fuck they got going on at the time.
I usually go like this. If I'm going to go to TV, I got to know who's going to be there.
Funny thing, the hotel that's right over there, that's the one I usually stay at when I go by myself.
So we're close.
We're relatively close.
All right.
I mean, there's a sign that says Clive on it right now.
Hey, we're right there. He's here. So, actually, oh, that's a toss up. It'd be one of those things where I'd have to figure out what's going on. I'd like to say AEW, mainly because they're kind of up and coming and, you know, this, that, and the other thing. But there's also something about WWE that makes me want to go, I think I need to check this out.
I would probably choose AEW, but if I want to base it off of like which merch line is better, which merch table better, I gotta say, unless they're improving things with the AEW one, it's pretty. The WWE one would have the better merch.
And you say it like that, you know, when you figure that they've already got, you know, 10 minutes after CM Punk returns from at Survivor Series, they've already got his T-shirt up on WWEshop.com.
And here's my other thing: the one AEW show that I've been to, half the merch table was either unsigned or signed figures. They didn't have shit for shirts besides a couple. And on that, my qualm with the WWE one, even if John Cena's not going to be there, they still have his damn shirts.
God, yes.
And
They're gonna
they also have
they're gonna milk that cow for all it's worth.
Then they also have shirts for people that aren't even going to be there. It's like, damn it, if I want to get a shirt at a show, I want it to be for somebody that's actually going to fucking be there. But yeah, that would be my take on that. But I didn't realize we were getting this close to the show.
I don't even know where we're going. Where are we going?
Clive Hour, we're here.
We're here in class.
All right. But that's all we got for this one. Let's fucking go.